Just want to start with open safety.
Yeah, extremely disappointed in the outcome of that game. We had every opportunity to win that game. You go back into the first half and, the miscues they had, the fumbled punt, us executing on the fourth down, getting there into their side. And, we end up not making the field goal. We don't do anything with those two drives. So important to get some extra points on the board. And we had two opportunities to do that. And we just didn't do it. Um, the second half, it's we did a pretty good job stopping them. I mean, again, slowing their run down. That wasn't something they could hang their hat on. But I tell you what, they sure took advantage with the play action pass. We looked atrocious in the secondary. We had wide open guys running all over. We had guys falling down twice. We had guys fall down in the back end, gave up easy touchdowns or big plays. That's stuff that's got to be fixed. I mean, we have a 2nd and 1 in the second half. That's a pivotal moment, and we end up taking a shot, and our quarterback runs out of bounds. 6 yards back rather than just throwing it away. So you have a manageable third down. We had multiple explosive plays that took us past midfield and didn't do anything with those drives. Showed a lack of discipline at the end of that game too. With one of our guys getting tossed out for running his mouth. So I'm disappointed in a big way. It's that was a game that could very easily gone the other way, and we just literally gave that sucker away. I mean, we did not play well in the back end and gave up way too many explosive plays. I mean, totally uncontested, touchdowns, guys running wide open. So I got to go back and watch the film. Obviously I got a high level of frustration right now with our players, our staff, and we just got to do a better job. I mean, we're sitting here at 2-2 now, and we play in 5 days. And I tell you what, that's gut check time. We're going to find out a whole lot about ourselves 5 days from now.
Coach, do you feel like in a game like this, you had control in the first half?
Yep.
You had a chance to really put some distance between them.
Yep.
And they found a way to stay close. Games like that, when they get away, do they eat at you a little bit more?
Oh, completely. I mean, there are some games where it goes back and forth. You don't come out on top, but you've done some good things. They gave us every opportunity to pull away. I mean, we came out, we had a good game plan, we were well prepared. Defense did some really good things. I mean, there was a huge defensive touchdown. And then again, at the end of the half, those two opportunities, you needed to stretch that lead. You needed to do that, and we didn't do that. We failed to do that, and it's extremely disappointing. And then the amount of, again, in the second half, it's just, I mean, some of those touchdowns are just a joke on our end.
You and them, they came in today. They were able to get a lot of pass rush and pass games, but they only had 2 sacks. Today they had 9 against you guys. So just tell me how you feel like your offensive line held up. I know Pye was out, so you guys had to get it back up in there. Just
Yeah, well, we're struggling there. I mean, our starting left tackle's out, our starting center's out, but at the end of the day, it don't matter. I mean, so you have guys out, and the next guy's got to go in. But even with the sacks, we had plenty of opportunities. We settled down in the second half. Early in the half, we gave up a bunch of those, but we settled down. We did a better job. We were getting hurt, badly off that right edge. So we've got to shore that thing up. And some of those too, you got to deliver the ball. You got to get rid of the ball. We got to throw the ball away. We got to be comfortable, living, fight another down the next down, and that's something we got to talk about.
Those 2 drives that you talked about towards the end of the second quarter, do you feel like that was maybe a turning point when the momentum kind of shifted, or do you feel like that was another point?
You still have the lead at half, but again, having, been a part of these type of games, it's kind of what you just said. It's one of those deals where when you have an opportunity to start to create some distance to put, I mean, if we had another touchdown on one of those drives, that's huge. Their whole mindset coming out in the second half, our mindset, but at least a field goal out of there. I think that was, that was really important to get that, and we didn't do it twice.
Tell me about, maybe coming in. This was their first sellout in over a decade.
Well, it wasn't. There was a lot of empty seats, so it wasn't totally sold out. I mean, they may have sold all the tickets, but there was a lot of empty seats. Yeah.
Well, Coach, one thing that you touched upon just a few minutes ago, next game in 5 days, this big conference opener with Sam Houston. It's a chance to get a bad taste out of your mouth real quick,
real fast. We're gonna have to do some soul searching. Again, we got a big 3-hour ride home right now. How we respond to be a big thing, and we're banged up right now. I mean, it's just Tyler Martinez went out and didn't come back in the game. Our other starting linebacker didn't play in this game. Dejon Stanley went out with a concussion early in the first quarter. We have 2 starting offensive linemen are out right now. So we're gonna have. I mean, it's really gonna have to be that next man up mentality. Now we still got plenty of guys to go win. I mean, we're not making excuses. We'll be fine. It's all these games we play from here on out throughout the course. I mean, probably you hate to look forward, but that toughest one's probably the old Vols, right? But every game we play, they're all winnable games. This was a winnable game. It's just gonna be how you go out and how you execute, and we got to do a better job as a coaching staff of getting our players prepared for situational football.
quarterback, we talked about a little bit about maybe he's holding on the ball a little bit too much. He had the pick, almost had a second. I know you have to watch the film for maybe coming to some solid conclusions, but maybe any preliminary ones you have about his performance right now.
Again, I got to go back and I got to watch the whole film to, make some, to answer some of those questions. But just off the hoof, to me, the decision making of not throwing the ball away and taking sacks and losing yard, it's happened multiple times. We're not going to put it on him. We're going to put it on ourselves as coaches. We have to do a better job of explaining, the situation and when you can go ahead and just throw it away. I mean, again, we have that crucial 2nd-and-1 situation where we go ahead and we throw the ball, and instead of having 3rd and probably less than 1, we end up running out of bounds, and now we have 3rd and 6 and we don't convert. It's just like those things cannot happen.
A lot of guys, left open. I believe, all those 4 touchdowns, they had guys that were open. You talk about the secondary, guys just kind of falling down. Anything else in particular, maybe on the secondary or your defense against play action passes that you feel like was not good?
Well, we got to generate a pass rush when we're not, without bringing pressure, you still have to generate a pass rush. We have to do a better job at that, and again, just, falling down in the back end, it's just inexcusable. I mean, we had a couple costly penalties too. I got to go back and look at it. I didn't like all the calls were made. There was a crucial 3rd down play where there was an incomplete, and then the guy in the back end throws that late flag, and I'm not sure that halo penalty at the end too. I mean, I went back and watched it, and I totally disagree with that. Again, did that cost the game? No, but there are things that they start to add up. When we're struggling a little bit, and then you get off the field on a 3rd down, and you get that questionable call. I mean, that's part of the game. We have to handle it better, but there's a lot of things we're gonna have to talk about back there.
Coach, I know it's frustrating the way this game got away from you, but the positives that you take out of this game.
We played good run defense. You know what I'm saying? They got some yards. You know what I'm saying? They did a good job, but I mean, I knew coming into the game after that UCLA game, they're going to want to run the ball downhill and kind of get after it. And we did a really good job, I think, of being stingy. We played good on 1st down, and then on the flip side, ourselves offensively, we were able to run the ball a little bit. We had some good runs, some good 1st down plays. We had a couple explosives. So that was good to see us be able to get downhill and run the ball when we needed to. And then again, stopping them. Those are probably the 2 biggest things. Our guys played hard and they competed hard. It's just, again, we really struggled mentally. I mean, in between the years, that latter part of the game, it was not indicative of, of winning football.